Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 183 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
Stressful begin to the show,
God.
thanks to technology.
We just keep on having bad luck with technology right now, and I won't lie to you, it's been a real pain in my ass.
Yeah.
I am definitely one that, as our viewers will no doubt know, I can fly off the handle at the drop of a hat.
At times.
And so you can only imagine how much more frustrated I get when it's something that I actually care about and not just a TV show. So we're okay now. Yes. But we're back on the Yeti. As they say in The Great Escape, we're back on the rope. We're going to do what we can.
I do have to say it was a nice flashback. It's probably since college that I heard the serial killer deep breath you have when you get mad. You're just sitting there breathing so deeply. I'm like, oh, somebody's going to get stabbed. And I think it's going to be the computer. And it's been since the frustrations of college that the last time I heard those, I think.
Yeah. I can think of that film class we took with Berger.
Oh, God.
Where it's like, I think working with a certain group of people on a certain Sharpie ad, there was a lot of that noise. At the height of swine flu, of all things. God, that was...
we're on the downward slide to 20 years. It's been... This year will be like 17, 18 years since we were...
I know.
Jesus, dude.
We met in 2009.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
That's messed up.
So in our sad old age, and me and my old man reader glasses, this is NerdPod Generation, episode 183, and that means there are 182 past episodes of pure gold. So if you are interested and like what you hear, please go to nerdpodgen.com. There's a link on our main page to the most recent podcast. There are also links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where Al graciously has been uploading single clips and full episodes of current and previous shows. So there's a bunch for you to listen to. So if you do go to any of those, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and the podcast channel just so you can get updates on when a new show comes out.
Yes.
Because we try to be pretty consistent, but there are sporadic times just because life happens.
It's what I've found in doing years of this show at this point is the schedule is pretty much 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And then it ends... What we should really do is start having Halloween Horror Fest be our big end of the year extravaganza.
Yeah.
With the knowledge of after Halloween Horror Fest, it's very likely we won't do more shows for the rest of the year, and then we'll come back and do like all the big November, December releases in January when we restart the show, which, as it turns out, is a dead zone for a lot of podcasters because that's when they take their vacation.
That is true, too. And between work, which is usually crazy for the both of us during that time, and then with Christmas with the kids, it's nightmare central. So anyways, folks, if this is your first time listening to us, we do like to start each episode with a nice segment called What Have We Been Watching, Playing, Reading? And today is going to be headlined by Al Judson.
I have like the 1,000-yard stare. Because, like, there's just so many things in my head right now of, like, I don't even know where to start. Because the problem is that I came in with a plan knowing that a Back to the Future style manure truck was going to come in and just overturn on my plan. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to talk about, like...
So what was your plan?
My plan was to talk about Cool Runnings. I just watched Cool Runnings for the Olympics, which I really like that movie, but I will definitely admit that movie falls closer to... the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze nostalgia line than it does something of like a return to wherever. Like I'm gonna watch this all the time because like I love that movie because I was a kid, but rewatching it, the writing in that movie is
it's terrible.
It's dicey at best.
It's your typical 90s family comedy, which are not great.
It's not great.
No.
I did find it really interesting that with the exception of the main lead runner, all of the other guys on the cart all have monikers, not names. Yeah. One guy is Yul Brenner, one guy is Sanka Coffee, one guy is just Junior. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, interesting. I'd never noticed that as a kid. Like, obviously, whenever they said Yul Brenner, I'd be like, I don't get this joke. There's a joke here, and my parents are laughing, but I don't get it. But, like... I don't know. I like that movie, but I think I like that movie more because I watched it as a kid. Watching it now, you're just like, This isn't even like Mighty Ducks level of like, okay, this is passable. Like, this is pretty rough at times. There's some pretty rough dialogue here and there. My favorite is just like this idea that in 3 months they could make it to the Olympics and be a pretty decent team is just like...
Nah.
It's like how they get this sled that is literally held together by duct tape, and then one painting montage later, it looks like everybody else's sleds.
Yeah.
It's like, this was made out of metal, and now it's made out of fiberglass. I guess I'm just confused a little bit.
It's the 90s.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So definitely, like, you
That
have
was
to take
90s,
it.
right?
It was.
I think
Oh, it was deep
yeah.
in the 90s, because I watched it in the 90s, so it was
Gotcha.
definitely deep in the 90s. But I like that movie a lot. I like John Candy in that role. That was the main reason I watched it, was because John Candy, and I love fucking John Candy, and especially after last show talking about Catherine O'Hara, I was like, oh, I want to watch some John Candy, and I got to watch the John Candy documentary.
Yes, I want to see that.
But like he's so funny in that, because he all at once plays up and plays down scenes, and so he acts as the straight man at a lot of times, but also serves to amplify ridiculous moments. So like at one point, the one time they get a good push start and they get a good time, they crash into a police car at the bottom of the hill, and the police are laughing at them, being like, what the fuck? You're feeding us lies. And then their coach, this big fat guy, comes running down the hill and pushes the cops out of the way. He's like, how's the cart? Is the cart okay? Well, it's in the wrong place. Get it back up to the top of the hill. And it's just like this, the earnestness of this moment is carried by John Candy. And so he's the secret sauce that holds that movie together. The dressing down he gives to the Olympic Committee is also really good. I like that scene.
But there is also... For those of you who are unaware, there was an actor in the 90s who main claim to fame was being the statue that comes to life in the Madonna Like a Prayer video. And it was an actor who went by one name, Leon.
Yes.
And he's in Cool Running. And he's
the lead in Cool Running.
He's the lead in Cool Running. But he was... That's like in the 90s when they're like, we need a really tall, good-looking African-American man in our movie. Leon was the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know he was the lead in The Temptations, and he was in, what was the Wesley Snipes Ice-T movie? New Jack City, I believe he was in. But he was in all these things, and then, of course, he was the statue that came alive, and he was the lead in Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Leon.
He's okay. He's not bad. I wouldn't say he's good.
No.
His motivations seem to swing wildly throughout the entire movie, and there's this whole moment where he becomes obsessed with the Swiss, which when you're watching it as an adult, you're like, this is unearned. I don't really understand where this comes from. And it serves as the central conflict in the third act of the movie. And you're just like, I don't know.
Oh, and he was one of the bad guys in Cliffhanger. Very underrated
was he?
movie. Love Cliffhanger.
No kidding.
Great movie.
Every time I think of Cliffhanger, I always get it confused with the arm wrestling one.
Oh, Over the Top?
Over the Top.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Over the Top's bad. Cliffhanger's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Cliffhanger is great. It is... Okay, it's not a good movie.
Right, because it's a Stallone movie.
But for a 90s action Stallone movie, it's fucking awesome. It's like, it's on that same level as like Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, I understand these are not like technically great movies, but it's a great movie.
I saw a really interesting... I'm going to just divert onto a tangent really quick. I saw a really interesting interview with Anthony Mackie talking about how movie stars don't exist anymore. Where when he was a kid, you would go and you would see the new Stallone movie. Or you'd go and see the new Schwarzenegger movie. Now you go and you see the new Falcon movie. Now you go and see the new Batman movie. But it doesn't really matter who is playing the characters. What matters is the character itself. And I think he's seen, the drop off on things like Twisted Metal, which gets good reviews, looks good, but can't seem to attract a large fan base. Yeah. And, these other movies that he's been a part of where you'd think like, oh, Anthony Mackie's in that's a draw. And it's like,
But see, I think the thing with Twisted Metal, it's Peacock, right? I think
it's on Peacock.
It's because it's on the streaming service has fractured the viewer base. That's the problem.
And you have it behind a paywall and it can't air on TV. Like a lot of Peacock and CBS stuff will air on network before, as long as it's available to air. I still don't know how they show Yellowstone, because I'm fairly confident Yellowstone breaks a lot of FCC laws.
Ton of swearing, there's nudity, there's an insane amount of violence.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how that can air on CBS, but they air it every week on CBS. But like a lot of these shows do that, where they air and then they are on the streaming platform. But Twisted Metal, NBC's never been like, we'll put Twisted Metal on the 10 p.m. time slot.
I think that's an overly violent... that's
the thing, is that you can't. It's too much of a thing. So now it sits behind this paywall, and nobody wants to get Peacock because they read reviews, And Peacock is not one of the good sub-platforms.
I have it for the Olympics. And
I
the
literally
Olympics
just
are
have
done,
it for the Olympics. We're going to cancel it today and then have it for the next 2 weeks or whatever until the charge on it fails, and then whatever, it goes back into the wind. I mean, Paramount's the same way. Although Paramount, this is why I had the deep side at the beginning. Paramount has had, how do I want to put this? A week so shameful that it's going to go down in history.
Yeah.
As far as botch jobs and being so clearly for the second time ever, sitting behind Trump ready to receive.
Yeah.
Is the best way I can put it.
Oh, absolutely.
For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, CBS, on top of canceling Colbert's show, specifically because Trump told them to. Trump said, I won't let this merger go through with Skydance unless you can Colbert, and then put one of his cronies in charge of CBS, which was, again, one of the dictatorials of CBS's merger was this monster is going to go to the head of CBS when this thing goes through.
Yep.
And so one of the things that they did was say, well, we don't like how CBS covers the news, so we're going to botch and just jam out the entire news department, and Colbert being first to go, but I'm sure 60 Minutes is going to go next. There's no way the rest of the CBS morning news, that's going to go away. They're going to have to try and find new stuff to put in there, or it's just going to be all fluff, no filler. This week, in the most recent iteration of this event, the FCC came to CBS and said, hey, you know that interview with the up-and-coming Texas Democrat who's running for Senate?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't air that because he is too popular, and we don't want him to be popular. We want Ted Cruz to keep winning in Texas, and we're worried that if he wins, we're going to lose Texas, which is a very real concern to have.
Yeah.
And so CBS went to Colbert and said, you can't have him on the show. We won't put it on TV. And Colbert was like, well, we're still going to have him on the show because he's booked. And they were like, well, you can't air it on TV. And he said, okay, can I air it online? And they said, we'd rather you did. And he said, well, that's not no. And so he put it on YouTube.
Yep.
And this guy has done more fundraising in the last week because of that than any other time. And I'm not saying this like CBS had a plan the whole time. No, CBS tried their best to actively work the election system.
Yep.
As a news source that is supposed to be unbiased, actively tried to work the system, and it blew up in their face.
Yep. And then all the denials came out.
Yep.
Well, we never.
We would never do that. What? I haven't eaten Brandon Carr's shit all week this week. Last time I ate his shit was 2 weeks ago, and it's just like, no, you are so full of his shit. You guys are doing this thing where you say one thing and then your actions are very clearly the other.
Yeah.
Anybody who is still, and I mean this so strongly to anybody listening, I have a very small platform, but I'm going to use it for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. Never take someone's word as what they mean.
Yep.
Always look to what they do.
Yep.
Because their actions will always say a very different thing than their words. Chuck Schumer, I call Chuck Schumer every day because I'm so pissed off at him because he's such a failure at actually being an elected official. Chuck Schumer, when I asked him about the Epstein list and what his plan is for that, his plan was to continue to demand that they release it. Dude, by your own office's standards, they were supposed to release it in December. Yeah. It is the end of February. You can't just say, well, but we demand that he stand himself account. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
You have to make him do it. So by not doing that, you are tacitly approving his behavior. That's all there is to it. You can tell me all the time that you are against the Epstein list and all these other things, and you want it all exposed and you want it read aloud. But the fact that you could do that and you won't tells me that you don't want it out loud. You just want us to think you want it out loud.
Exactly.
And it's just, Trump has spent the last 20 years showing us who he is. When he doesn't tell you who he is or you don't believe him, believe his actions. He's shown us the entire time
Not even
who he
20,
is.
the last 50 years when his name became big and synonymous with, quote, air quote, success, even though he never had any success himself.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
So moving on to better things, and then we're going to turn back into frustrations.
Okay.
The Olympics have been great. I've really enjoyed the Olympics, especially the figure skating has been really fun. We've watched a lot of the sliding events, so specifically bobsled, skeleton.
They're so much fun.
Luge. So, but that's been great. My favorite thing is just watching the two-man luge and being like, so how do we decide who sits on who? Because this is competitive lap setting at this point. And you're going to be like two frat guys sitting on top of each other who can get it down to the bottom of this giant hill the fastest while you sit on top of each other and don't pop a boner. They're in spandex.
Everyone was thinking it, but you had to say it, didn't you?
But I'm just saying, it is the most frat boy sport of all time.
Oh yeah,
it's just all they need. They have these hyper sophisticated sleds, but really all they need is a shovel to sit on and a bro to sit on their lap and 5 beers, and they're good to go.
Yep.
But it's especially funny because I assume it's a weight thing. You want these guys that are bigger and burlier, but you have guys that are roughly my size. I'm 250, 5'10", and you have these really bigger guys in these spandex suits, and I'm just sitting here okay, not what I thought of when I thought of this, but hey, whatever, it's cool. One of the guys that was competing got into the sport because he looked up sports he could get into in the Olympics without having any training in his entire life.
That is amazing.
And they were like, oh, bobsled. It's oh, cool, I can do that. I can drive a bobsled.
You just got to push.
Yeah, so that's been great. I love the figure skating. Alyssa Liu is fantastic, though her mouth piercing is deeply troubling to me.
Very troubling.
I'm not even a father, and all I can think is, your dentist must fucking hate that.
Fuck.
The enamel on your front teeth is so fucked. It's so fucked. And you're so lucky you didn't get an infection when you gave yourself the piercing. Septums go up. They go up, go an inch up, and you got it. You're right in the right space. But this, I worry, and I definitely worry. I'm not one of those but think of the children. I'm not a Helen Lovejoy. No. But think of the children. There's going to be a dozen, 24 fucking stupid teenagers that are I love it. I'm going to do it. And she did it herself. I'm going to do it myself. And it's this is the dumbest thing.
You know what, though? Dennis must love it because it's going to... So much business is coming their way from fucked up teeth and gums.
Oh, my God. So, but that's been great. I've been really loving that. And so the closing ceremonies are today, and we'll talk about that next week. But this is the end of my Olympic talk because now we have to talk about trailers.
Yeah. Well, do we want to start? Do we want to start good or end good?
Let's start with good because I'm gonna the other stuff is gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth. So
this is good but frustrating.
Yes.
Which is
Mandalorian and Grogu. We finally have a real trailer that actually shows us the plot. It looks great.
Looks great.
I immediately was okay, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yes.
This is what we've wanted for weeks and weeks and weeks to tell us, don't worry, it's not only going to work out, it's going to be good. You're going to enjoy yourself going to this movie. There's going to be violence. There's not a scene of Bo-Katan in the entire trailer. Nope. There's no other Mandalorians.
It looks like the first season of The Mandalorian.
It looks like the first season of The Mandalorian.
Very much so.
And it tackles this big question of Mando understanding that Grogu will outlive him by centuries.
Yep.
And now wanting as a father to be I need to prepare him for when I'm gone. And it's just okay.
That's fucking awesome.
We've made it. This is what we've been waiting for. There's Hutts. There's Baz, or I can't remember his name, but he's in Rebels.
Yep.
He's great. He's played by Steve J. Bloom.
And then the guy from The Bear plays the Hutt that he fights.
Yeah.
I can't remember the dude's name.
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
I love everything about this trailer, the tone, the style, the fact that they go back to his original ship.
Yeah, which is awesome.
They're okay, all right, the whole thing with the...
I never liked that whole
Naboo racer.
Yeah,
I liked it, but I get why it's it again, in a show that got further and further away from its central premise and closer to this is all nostalgia bait for Star Wars fans. It did feel like a necessary step back to be no, we're going back to his original ship because this again, Bo-Katan, all these other Mandalorians, trying to retake Mandalore, this got so far away from what the series was supposed to be about in the first place and became something new and worse.
In his old ship, I mean, he is a nomadic character, and the old ship is as much an apartment as it is a ship.
Yes.
Where the Naboo one was tiny.
It's just a fighter. It's just
Exactly.
It's a planet hopper. You'd have to refuel every planet you went to. So
it got away from the whole thing.
I really like this. I really like this style and look.
Yes.
Immediately, the concerns I have are there seem to be some moments in the trailer that feel like they're going to be very situational based. So the Greedo mother and her child, and they jump out, and now there's this rocket ship bassinet that Grogu can jump into, and you're okay, all right, I guess it's fine, I'll take it, but why doesn't he just have a rocket bassinet that he can just ride around in all on his own? Why does he need to find one? I like this. I like this a lot. Keep going with this tone. Keep going with this style. Try and not fall back into this is for everyone. Try and understand that this is for fans that have been fans since the beginning. You do not need to target 7-year-olds. The 7-year-olds that were into it in the first place are now like 14, 15.
And they don't give a shit about Grogu anymore. Baby Yoda's not a thing anymore.
So, like, focus on the good stuff. Yes. Don't get distracted by the bad stuff. I love that the medallion Grogu wears is, like, his armor. Mm-hmm. He, like, tightens it if he needs to. Like, there's some really cool stuff here. Don't get distracted.
Yeah.
I love the idea that it seems episodic. Like, okay, here's this mission. You go on it, you come back. Here's this mission. You go on it, you come back. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to how this plays out as long as it works.
Yeah.
If there's more story than there's time given, not for, because there's as much time as Disney will give, but Disney is very weirdly stingy on time when they think something is not going to be for all audiences.
Yeah, which...
These are the reasons I still have concerns, because you can show me this great apartment building, but the record of your apartment building company tells me that there might be some shoddy workmanship on the inside. So I hope it's as good as it looks. I just worry. But why, why was this not the Super Bowl ad? Why?
That's I don't understand.
At the very least, have there be a bit at the end of the Super Bowl ad being like, okay, now go watch the full 2-minute trailer online.
Yeah.
This was just like us saying there's a new trailer, but we're not going to buy out 2 minutes of Super Bowl time. So here's a silly Mandalorian Budweiser ad, but there's a full trailer online now.
Yes. And there are tens of millions of people that will not see this trailer because they won't look for it on YouTube.
Exactly.
That would have seen it during the Super Bowl. And so you're talking this, and this is not a joke. This could sway opening week box office by tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
By not having this as the Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
And I don't know who is running the promotional department for this film. They fucking need to be fired.
Yeah.
Because this trailer is what should have been on fucking Super Bowl Sunday.
Literally all you needed in the trailer was the moment where you have the two guards standing by the door, and the door opens, and Mando flamethrows the entire room and walks in and shoots them both.
Yeah.
That would have been your teaser.
Yes,
and that would have been, everybody would have been like, we're back, baby!
Yes.
We're in! Let's go! I'm buying my ticket today!
And last week, we were kicking around the idea... Maybe Pedro Pascal's actually not in this and he just does voice work. Well, we see his face in this, so you know he's in this. And that could have been another selling point where people are like, oh, that's right, he plays the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that checked out after season 1 or 2 that forget that he is the Mandalorian, and that might be a draw also.
Or also like this idea of, there's a lot of people similar to us who feel like season 3, the big problem with season 3 was that it stopped being about Mando.
Yes.
So now you show Mando's face and you say, hey, we got him.
Yes.
He's here. It's real. It's not someone else. We're not going to bring in some other tertiary character that you've never heard of who's now going to steal the entire scene.
Yeah.
This is going to be about him.
And this kind of goes back to what you were talking about with like actors not being a draw. I think the only real draws nowadays are actually directors. Like if a Tarantino film comes out, everyone's going to see it because it's Tarantino.
Yeah.
I don't get why it took me reading a press release to realize that Jon Favreau directs this movie. That should be a big thing in the trailer.
Yeah.
People know that name from Marvel. I mean, he created the MCU pretty much with Iron Man, and he also created The Mandalorian, and he helped out with a lot of what's good with Star Wars now. And it's like, why is his name not like a big thing? Jon Favreau direct. That would be a draw also.
You would think that it would be all three of them. You would think that it would be directed by Jon Favreau, produced by Dave Filoni, starring Pedro Pascal.
Exactly.
But instead, they are trying to sell this as like, oh, The Mandalorian is enough of a sell on its own, even though the last season was kind of a fiasco and left a really sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. We are not the only people that didn't love season 3 of Mandalorian.
And the other thing is, it's been long enough since season 3 that even the tertiary fans have forgotten that it exists.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, I remember that show. That was like, 5-6 years ago?
What was the last Star Wars show? It was something about Rebels and something. Yeah. But it wasn't Rebels. It was something else. And then there was a Star Wars show before that, but that was also about Rebels, but not those Rebels, but also those Rebels. And...
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's not being promoted well at all.
No, I agree.
But this was a really good trailer.
This was a great trailer.
It made me want to see this movie.
This made me want to buy tickets to this movie for the first time since they announced it, without me being like, okay. I'm still like, okay, but it's not going to stop me from buying tickets. And with it being shot
for IMAX, like kind of maybe even going to see it in IMAX.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk really quick about pressure
Yes.
Pressure looks really interesting. This is a Brendan Fraser-led piece with
He plays Truman, right? I think.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
No, Ike.
Yeah.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
So he plays Eisenhower, and Andrew Scott is in it as a meteorologist.
British meteorologist.
And it's the story of trying to predict the weather for D-Day and how the weather will affect whether the invasion happens on the day that it's scheduled. There's all these concerns of, like, if we delay it, the Germans are going to find out, and then they're going to be waiting for us, as is. They're already kind of waiting for them, as we know from the 21st century. We can now look back and be like, yep, the Germans were ready. They knew you were coming, and it is kind of a miracle that it worked out in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I know human intervention, all these other things, it wasn't necessarily a miracle. Like, they had a plan, and they did these things. Right, okay, get it. But at the same time, can we also agree that a lot of luck went into that being a success?
Yeah, we should have bombed the shit out of the shoreline, which fucking didn't want to do.
Yeah. So anyway, Pressure looks really interesting.
Yeah, it looks
very dramatic. I'm curious about Brendan Fraser, not because I don't think he can play this role, but because I don't think Eisenhower when I see him.
No.
So that was the first thing that kind of threw me. I'm excited for him to have this kind of role.
Yes.
When they said Eisenhower, I was like, oh, he's playing Eisenhower? I thought he was just a general in the army. I didn't realize he was playing Eisenhower.
And I'll be honest, when I was watching this trailer, as good as it looks, the only thing that ringed in my head was Oscar bait.
Yeah.
This is an Oscar bait movie.
Yeah. This is like someone saw Dunkirk.
Yeah.
They said we can have Oscar war movies in the summer as blockbusters. I just I want to like Dunkirk so bad, but like
I know.
the Harry Styles element of it, which I get, again, was done very purposefully with a very specific vision in mind, and I can appreciate that, but I just found those parts of the movie so hard to get through. I just found it just like nails on a chalkboard of just like, can we just... I'm so frustrated, and I can't tell any of these guys apart, and I know that's the point. I get it, but at the same time, Tom Hardy's stuff is so interesting, and he's a pilot.
And how you don't even, like, if you didn't know he was in the movie, you wouldn't know it's him.
And
they never show his face.
The stuff with Mark Rylance trying to get the boats, and like all these other things are
Cillian
so much
Murphy
more
on the
interesting
boat,
than this.
So
This should be the most interesting thing. These men trapped on a beach, but instead
Yeah.
they're kind of like bored and nervous. They're too scared to be bored, but they're too bored to be nervous.
See, what I liked about that, though, is it's that showing what they were kids. They really were kids.
Yeah.
And what would kids be like in a situation like this?
Yeah.
That's kind of... So, yeah, I can see your frustration.
Mom's
though.
late coming to get me again. Nerds.
Nerds.
Mommy, come and
you
get
said
me.
Nerds.
But anyway, so I am interested in Pressure. I agree with you, though. It does... I like your reaction when we were watching the trailer of, oh, I guess that's a story from the war we haven't told yet. The weather.
The weather. We haven't told the media.
Yeah. But that was good. Normal, I want to just touch on, just to say that it's Hot Fuzz.
It looks fun.
I'm interested. The problem is that I didn't really like Nobody. I found that Nobody kind of like, it was a big inflated balloon that didn't go anywhere. And I was just like, oh.
See, I liked Nobody. I will have that sentiment. I watched Nobody 2. That is exactly the sentiment I had for that.
Yeah.
Nobody was John Wick with a dude.
Yeah, with just a guy.
With just a guy.
Yeah.
It's like when they had the Die Hard clones after Die Hard came
Exactly.
out. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about Normal.
Yeah, it looks all right.
It looks okay. At the moment I realized, like, oh, this is just Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
This is just Hot Fuzz with
Hot
Fargo.
Fuzz.
Yeah. So that looks interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we're ever really going to talk about it ever again.
Probably not.
Toy Story 5.
Oh,
All I want to
bullshit.
say about Toy Story 5 as we start getting into the stuff, like, we're going downhill. I don't know if you've noticed at this point, friends and enemies, but we're slightly going downhill. Fucking Toy Story 5 makes me so frustrated and angry and vengeful and like I'm just so done with this, man. I'm just so fucking done with this shit. Like, this series should have ended on Toy Story 3.
It was the perfect
You had
ending.
the perfect ending.
Yep.
Literally the perfect ending.
Yep.
It was tied up with the best bow ever. Everybody and their cousin said this is perfect.
It was the Indiana Jones ending.
It was so good.
The ending of both
It was
threes.
excellent.
Yep.
It was everything you could ever hope for and more. And then you muddied it with 4.
Yep.
And now you're just trashing on it with 5.
Yep.
And, oh, the toys have to fight against technology? Oh my god. And Barney gets a iPhone. He has an iPhone, guys. Holy shit. Who fucking cares?
And here's the spoiler. Technology will always fucking win.
Yes.
So I don't know how they're going to make the toys win in this, because they ain't fucking winning, dude. No. As soon as my son got a fucking video game machine, done with fucking toys.
They're gonna hack into the iPad, whatever its name is,
Oh, it's the leapfrog.
Yeah, it's like a lily pad or
Lily
something.
pad,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
named Lily or something stupid like that. And but they're gonna hack into it and find out that it's been spying on Bonnie and collecting her parents' financial information.
And like the thing is they kind of took some of the thunder from Ron's Gone Wrong, which is a great fucking movie. I love that movie. But it's kind of it's following kind of the same thing where you have the technology is like the bad guy, and I don't know. I think
this is
it's
nothing.
dumb.
This is nothing to me.
No, like I've rewatched 1, 2, and 3 a million times. I only watched 4 that one time that I saw it, and I have no interest in watching it.
And instead of doing 4, they should have just done a spin-off.
Yeah.
Of like, this takes place in the Toy Story universe. It's all new toys.
Yes.
None of the toys that you know. So we don't have to worry about actors from the 80s dying because they've been doing these for so fucking long.
Yep.
You know, like they have that one scene at the end where Mr. Potato Head and Slinky Dog are talking about it being nice that Woody and Buzz are fighting again.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, both these guys are dead.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Potato Head is dead.
Yeah.
And like, just a whole new crew of toys. Just a whole new crew of toys. If you want there to be some level of crossover, you can do something funny where it's like you still have Ham, so you can have John Ratzenberger in the thing, but it's like a
But
different
even
Ham.
him, he's got to be in his late 80s.
Yeah,
so
right?
He doesn't have much time left.
Exactly. So it's just like the whole thing was just like I walked into it knowing that this was going to be bad. And then the more I watched it, the more ham-fisted it becomes. So it's like, oh, we don't know how to solve our problems, so now we have to get Woody back, even though Woody's on his own life mission, and we can't do this without Woody, so now Woody's back, and he has a poncho, and everybody thinks it's funny.
I'll be
honest.
honest.
He's bald. He's a toy, and he's bald. What the fuck is this?
The vibe I got from it was those 90s straight-to-DVD sequels.
Yeah.
Like Return to Jafar and all that,
Yeah.
where I was like, this doesn't seem like an actual... Like, I wouldn't be shocked if that's not Tom Hanks, it's his brother.
I was about to say,
because he voices
get
all the
Tim
toys.
Hanks or whatever his name is, and you bring him in instead. Like, to me, all of this, because even Toy Story had those. They had those, like, recently. Sporky or whatever his fucking name is had, like, a Halloween special and all those other... Why is this a feature-length presentation?
I don't get it.
I do not understand this. I don't know why you're putting money and time into it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're making us all sit through another Toy Story movie. This is so only for kids that even I think the parents won't enjoy it. And I'm so frustrated because you had it all and you so willingly blew it. You so willingly said, I like money more than closure. And I am more than willing to destroy the closure of others so I can make more money. And it's like, that's such a stupid fucking rationale to use to do this kind of shit.
Fucking dumb as hell.
And it just makes me so crazy and mad.
Oh, boy, folks. Hold on to your popcorn, folks.
Speaking of crazy and mad. So, to start this, I want to start this with how I learned about this trailer. I learned about this trailer because our beloved co-host Steve sent me a text message and included a link. And in that link, he said, this actually doesn't look too bad. And I said, oh, good. And so I opened it and I saw what it was. And I said, nope, 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 nope. And I turned it off before the trailer even started. And I sent Steve an image from Memento of him with the photo that says, don't believe his lies. The new Spider-Noir trailer is out. And a little background. At the risk of being a hipster, I've been into this since before it was cool.
Yeah.
I read the original comic when it came out. I bought the original comic as soon as I could on graphic novel with both of them. It's a 2 comic series. Or I guess it's multiple comics, but you know what I mean. There's 2 graphic novels. And Spider-Noir is so fucking good. All right. Spider-Noir is brilliant because Spider-Noir is what we've talked about with so many other superheroes, right? You get your Daredevil, your Batman, fucking Punisher, Luke Cage, so many other superheroes that start out, maybe not Punisher, but start out with like that bright primary color, fun, joy, woo! And then you, in the 90s, 2000s, you had Marvel Knights. And Marvel Knights with a K was like the dark, edgy Marvel comics. And it's just all about like, oh, Daredevil is trying to nail a rapist in court while also trying to beat the shit out of the rapist as Daredevil. And you're like, okay, cool, whatever, I get this. I like this. This is jam. I like this a lot. You could never do that with Spider-Man because Spider-Man had to be primary color. Yeah. Right? The nature of Spider-Man in his fandom was that he had to be of primary color. And so Spider-Noir does what we were just talking about with Toy Story. It says, hey, this is Spider-Man. This is not 616 Spider-Man. This is not the Spider-Man you've known for 40 years. This is not the Spider-Man that you've ever envisioned. This is a kid from the 40s who is trying to figure out all the weird mysticism that's coming up. And, oh yeah, his uncle was eaten by the Vulture. Not gunned down in a car. Not killed by a home invader. Eaten by the Vulture, who is a circus sideshow geek in the circus of one Norman Osborn.
Oh, that's so awesome.
There's really fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fucking blow it because you did the stupidest thing you possibly could. The thing that makes me the most angry about this, because I'll sit here and I'll say, sure, the look is good. Him swinging around looks good. The costume looks good. The scenes in the bar with him in the costume look good. The moments where he's being Spider-Man look good. You know what the problem is? You cast fucking 65-year-old Nicolas Cage! And you know what makes it even worse? Is that the reason you did that was because after Into the Spider-Verse...
Yep, where he voiced...
Everybody was like, I love Nicolas Cage! I love this newer Spider-Man who doesn't know what colors are! And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, hey Pete, what happened to your uncle? How do you feel about Sandman? If I said the name White Widow to you, would it mean anything? No? Okay. Fascinating, because I think that would have been a cool thing to do. But this is a children's movie, so you can't do the story where Norman Osborn slashes up... No, wait, not Norman Osborn. The Big Man. How far back are we going? I have to cite the Big Man. They take the Big Man and the Enforcers and the Rose. These are the guys that Spider-Noir fights. People no one in the modern age has ever heard of. Close. The Big Man? The Big Man is the big villain? Yeah. And you know what he does? He fucking slashes up Felicia Hardy's face. She's a prostitute, and he says, I need stuff on Spider-Man, and she says, I'm not doing that. So he cuts her face up. And so she puts on a mask and becomes the White Widow and goes out and starts killing mobsters. Are we going to do any of that? No? Okay. Fine. Why are we doing that? Why did you cast 60-year-old fucking Nicolas Cage? And by the way, not as his character from Into the Spider-Verse. So you didn't need to cast 60-year-old Nicolas Cage in this because it's not the same guy. It's a fully different guy. How different a guy? He's Ben Reilly here. Into the Spider-Verse, he's Peter Parker. We hear him call himself Peter Parker. So I guess my question is just, why? Are we going to get psycho-fascist Otto Octavius who experiments on people and fucking... lobotomizes black men, including Rand Robertson, Robbie Robertson's son.
You're getting that.
Are we going to do that?
You're not getting that.
No. How about when he turns himself into a giant monster octopus? Are we going to do that? No. How about him experimenting on the Wasp and Ant-Man? Are we going to do that? No. So why are we doing this? So then my question just becomes, why? Because you're not going to do the Green Goblin. You're not going to do Norman Osborn. You have Molten Man. Molten Man. Hey, cool. Whatever.
And was there a glimpse of maybe Electro?
I've heard rumors of Electro, Mr. Negative, Molten Man, and I want to say like Boomerang or Shocker.
Because there was that scene where, it was either Shocker or Electro.
Yeah.
Because one of the hands was starting to glow with electricity.
Yeah, but then that would be Electro because Shocker's is all vibrational based.
But... They could fuck up.
They could fuck this shit
up. That's
up.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It could be either or.
And it's just so frustrating because, on the one hand, I want to applaud them, right? Because they did something that I have thrown a fit over before. There's no actual functional web swinging in Homecoming. Yeah. There's none. Homecoming bailed on web swinging because they decided that it had been done to death before, and I'm just like, so Superman's not going to fly in this one? What are you talking about? It's his main modus of operandi, and it's what makes him different from everybody else. Why would we not do this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't... You have the Vulture, and you're not going to do battles over New York? You have the Vulture, and you're not going to do... Their end climax fight is going to be on fucking Brooklyn's... Coney Island Beach, are you fucking... What the hell is wrong with... We're not talking about
Homecoming. So I want to give them... We don't talk about Bruno.
I want to give them credit because this has web swing.
Yes.
And it looks good. And the look of it is good. And then I just see Nicolas Cage doing this, woo! Ha! And I'm just like, why? I've seen Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Are you going to paint abs on this one too? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is he 60? Why is the central premise of your trailer with no powers comes no responsibility? I want to flip this table. I'm so mad. You so fully fucking forgot the face of your fathers. How have you gotten so far away from anything that makes this reasonable, rational, or pointful? And now we're doing the exact opposite of everything important. And it's just stupid bullshit garbage held up on the laurels of Spider-Man. Oh, it's a dark Spider-Man. Woo! But you're not going to make a dark Spider-Man. Yeah. You're going to do a bullshit nonsense version of it that is full garbage and is only decent because the last 3 live-action Spider-Man have been awful garbage shithouses.
I love watching your rants. It's the greatest thing ever. I do. Sorry, I gotta compose myself. That was the best. Oh my god, I'm tired for you. I think you need a cup of coffee or something.
At least you can watch it in black and white, Steve.
Yes, you.
At least you can watch it in black and white.
Every time I see a modern Nick Cage performance, and this trailer is no exception, I see Andy Samberg's impression of him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
it is so spot on.
Yeah.
His
hairline just keeps getting further and further up.
Getting further up, and he has the talking loud moments, and it's just fucking.
It makes me
so
mad
himself now
because you could do something really cool.
Yeah,
you could do something really cool.
Well, take all those storylines you said and do a DC R-rated animated version of it,
right?
With those dark storylines,
right?
Yes,
there's really rad shit you could do here that will instantly get an entire new fanboy base on board. Not for memes. Not for aw shucks, not for look how silly and stupid it is. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't know what a Rubik's Cube is. There's going to be a Rubik's Cube somewhere hidden in this. I swear to God, it's going to be there. There's going to be all this bullshit and garbage and nonsense that gets in the way, and it's going to make it so that we can't have anything good when this could be fucking great. The animated Constantine movies, like that level of fucking great. He smokes cigarettes. He's a detective. He works for the Bugle, but he also blows them off all the time. He has Mary Jane on one hand and Felicia on the other.
I just rewatched that first one, the Justice League Dark. Oh my god, it was so fucking
good. The Mysterio in the Noir verse is so cool, and you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do any of the cool shit that makes the Noir style universe dope as fucking shit. So why are you going to fucking do it at all? Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're gonna do it badly.
But that has been pretty much the glowing sign for anything Sony having to deal with Marvel characters.
Yeah.
They just can't, they cannot do it well.
No.
It's impossible for them to do it well.
No, they don't know what they have.
No.
And they...
Except for the Spider-Verse movies. Those are clearly the only exceptions.
Yeah.
Other than that, they...
Well, but you know how the Spider-Verse movies work is that... So the way that the Marvel movies work, to my understanding, this is, again, I might be wrong, but to my understanding, the way that this works, for the live-action Marvel movies, Fahey and Avi Arad and Amy Pascal all get in a room and decide what they're going to do for a storyline.
Yes.
And then they go through 9 million rewrites, and they fill it to the brim with movie references and other stupid bullshit that have nothing to do with the character. And because of that, they have to strip out essential elements because they don't know how to write a good story. So it's like, oh, we're going to do Spider-Man without web swinging. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he doesn't have spider sense. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he fails every strength challenge he has. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he doesn't have any good characters in this universe, so we have to borrow them all from another universe. Or 2, as the case might actually end up being. And then they put that out. And it's garbage and it's bad because it's written by committee by a group of people that have no creative ideas and no ability to be creative on their own. Mm-hmm. Whereas Into the Spider-Verse movies, again, my understanding is that the way that those work is the writers come in and they say, this is what we want to do. And Avi Arad says, these are the Spider-Man characters that would fit in your story. And they say, oh, the Spot. I like the Spot. I like this. This is fun. This works perfect. Thanks, Avi. And then they go off and they write something. And he doesn't have anything to do with that. And Amy Pascal doesn't have anything to do with that. And they're just allowed to go off and do things. Mm-hmm. And then they come back with a draft. And by then, the animation is so far along that you really can't change too much about it. So you can't have this overly produced nonsense plugged into it. And it's just I think the key difference here is One group is helmed by Avi Arad and Amy Pascal, who are easily two of the dumbest, most fucked up people I've ever heard stories about.
Kathleen Kennedy.
They're terrible at what they do. Avi Arad should be much better at what he does, considering how long he's been doing it. He's been doing it so long, he produced the Spider-Man that I grew up on.
Yeah.
He should be way better at this than he is. It's frankly insane that he's as bad at it as he seems to be. And that's why we keep getting shit like this, where you chase after a meme instead of writing something good. Mm-hmm. All you needed to do was write something good using the actual storytelling of the original series. But instead, you're making a meme. Why are you making a $200 million meme?
That's what all media is mostly nowadays.
It's insane to me.
It's all memes.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
Yeah. But, like, you look at K-pop Demon Hunters, Sony, I'm going to bring up your most recent burn. Mm. You look at K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was a story that was based on a meme, but you gave it to artistic types, and they ran with it, and they created something unique and authentic and great. And then you said, well, that scares me. I better sell it to Netflix for just the cost of the product and no upcharge whatsoever. And so here's K-pop. Oh, okay, Sony, here's $200 million. And so he says, well, I covered my ass. And then it turns into $1 billion franchise.
Well, that's the thing that I think Sony and a lot of companies make the mistake. They'll have a property that they think no one's going to watch, and everyone ends up watching it. And then they have a property they think everyone's going to watch, so they put too much overproduction into it, and then no one gives a fuck.
That's what I think this is. That's exactly what I think this is. I think if you just released this as an actual noir story that was dead set on being authentic to the style, pace, and characters of the original comic, and didn't have all this production, and didn't have Nicolas Cage, and it wasn't a joke, and there weren't any bits, it was just a straight up, very serious drama, this would go gangbusters. This would be fucking huge.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain of it. But because of this, it's going to be huge for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And stick to your guns. Only film it in black and white.
Yes.
They had to do what the fucking Werewolf by Night did, where they had it black and white and they put it in color and it ruined everything.
They didn't even show the trailer in black and white.
No, they showed it in color.
The trailer's in color, and then at the end of the trailer, they're like, oh, and if you want, you can change the color to make it black and white.
But it's like, if nobody knows the term noir, then don't see the fucking... if you are making a noir... Of course, you have things like Chinatown, which are like neo-noirs and whatnot, but pretty much that whole genre, black and white, is how you need to show those things.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes them great.
No, I'm so not looking forward to this. This whole thing is such an enormous bummer. And if you want the Spider-Noir feel without having to read the comics, get Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which Spider-Noir is one of the lead characters. The voice is great. The writing is great. The characters are amazing. Hammerhead is the main villain. It's so fucking good. And it's all sneak kill levels. It's not fight on your feet levels. It's all sneak kill levels. They have this jazz band, like a Harlem-style jazz band for all the music. It's so cherry. It's so good. So if you don't want to read the comics, but you do want to see what it's supposed to be, find and download Shattered Dimensions. At this point, it was for Xbox 360. I think Xbox made any money they were going to make on that. You can just... I'm going to tell you to pirate it because I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
So anyway, how's it going with you?
Oh, hey, buddy. So, I have a couple video game themed things. Real quick. It's nothing too long. First, I got to talk about my frustrations with Nintendo.
Yes.
So, for those of you who have been listening the last couple weeks, Switch 2 has become my favorite console ever. I am playing it every day. I play something on Switch 2. So, I currently have my Animal Crossing, which I have to do 5 to 10 minutes a day, just to do the basic stuff if I don't want to put more time into it. Then I do stick my foot into Fortnite every now and then. I've been doing less of that. I've been trying to finish Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've been trying to finish Metroid Prime 4. So, I'm on these games. I'm trying to finish these games. Then Dragon Quest VII Reimagined comes out. Which is glorious, and I am now currently playing that game. And I can't stop playing that game because it is not only a JRPG, but it is one done so well and so beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. Like, it is the most beautiful game. The voice work is great. I love when they do British voice work in JRPGs. It's awesome. It just fits. They did it big with Xenoblade. They're doing it with this. I love the game. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to finish Dragon Quest, and I'll go back to those other ones. And right as I say that, they drop the 4K resolution update and 60 frame per second update on Xenoblade Chronicles X. The game that I have 70 hours in and put away because I'm like, I got to play other things. Well, now they have the update out for that. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So now I'm focused. I have so many things I'm trying to... I got to stick with Dragon Quest. So the main part of this Nintendo side is the Dragon Quest. Yeah. I know it's a multi-platform game. But if you have not played Dragon Quest VII before, which was a PS1 original... And then there was a Nintendo 3DS remake, or I don't know if it was technically a remake, kind of did like a little remaster. But this is like a complete reimagining. They have like a very almost claymation-like look to the characters.
Oh, okay.
But
right, because I've seen the trailer for this. Yes.
It's so unbelievably beautiful. Like, I can't stress how well they did with the animations. Like, it runs smooth on the Switch 2. It looks beautiful. I mean, everything about this game is spectacular. Highly, highly recommend it. But I have to talk about one of my previous loves. So, I was always a Nintendo boy. Then PlayStation 2 came out. Kind of leaned more into the PlayStation side. Then the Xbox 360. I kind of skipped the whole Xbox generation. One of my good friends had one, so anytime I wanted to play Halo, I used his. Xbox 360, when the online hit, my friends were all Xbox guys, so I kind of steered away from PlayStation, went on to Xbox. Then I really went into it with Xbox One because once again, a couple of my friends who played a lot of like PUBG and a lot of big online games were doing Xbox. So, even though it was the worst generation for Xbox because they completely tanked it, I still stayed with Xbox. Then Xbox Series consoles came out. And even though I was deep into Switch, I'm like, you know what? I'll get the Series S. It's the cheap, small one. I'll be able to still play online with my friends. So, I've been an Xbox guy on and off, pretty much, mostly on for 15 years. Xbox, I think, is officially dead. So, the big news this week... Phil Spencer, president of Xbox, the guy that kind of was brought on after the initial destruction of Xbox One, turned things around mostly, really started buying these, like Activision. I think he was one of the head ones behind buying Mojang with Minecraft, which has been a massive. He retired. And it was kind of a, you need to go retirement.
Oh, force
But
out.
the big thing is... his second in command, who they were priming to become the next person, quit.
Dum-ba-dum.
So the entire heads of Xbox are gone as of the 23rd, which is what, Monday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Gone. So, the people that have been running Xbox, gone. I can't stress how, a lot of people were saying Xbox was pretty much dead. I think this was the big nail in the coffin.
This is it.
Now, the other thing that came out of this that really made me think that they're fucking done with this, they put a, what's her name? I want to get her name right. Asha Sharma.
Okay.
Is now the head of Xbox. Prior to coming to Xbox, she ran Instacart. And she has been on the AI side of things for Microsoft.
Oh,
she joined Microsoft in 2024.
Oh, boy.
But then the other head, the one working simultaneously with her, is also one of the heads of the AI division. But the key is neither one of these two have dick when it comes to video games.
Yeah. They know. Steve, they don't even know how to program a computer. They know how to tell a computer to program a computer.
Exactly. So this is what's telling me I would not be shocked. And this is really massive. I mean, you think about it, Xbox has been around for a little over 20 years. It's been around. I think it's 25, 26 years. Xbox was, and I know their sales have decreased a lot, but they are considered one of the three pillars. I think that third pillar's gone.
Yeah.
I honestly do. They're putting out all their games on PlayStation. Now, in fact, one of the highest selling PlayStation games right now is Forza Horizon 6, which just got put over. It is not only, I think they've sold over 10 million copies on the PS5 of an Xbox fucking game.
Yeah.
Gears of War selling like hotcakes on
yeah.
PS5. I would not be shocked if we never see another console out of Xbox, if Xbox Game Pass goes away, if they start selling off all of these, they'll probably keep... I can't see them selling Mojang, because Minecraft is just a money-making machine. Mm-hmm. So I can't see them selling that. I don't see anyone that'll buy Activision after the amount of money they just dropped on it. But some of their other studios, which I know there's a lot of frustrations with these big companies just closing studios, which this week PlayStation closed Bluepoint, which is... So frustrations I have with big companies like PlayStation and Microsoft. I'm keeping Nintendo out of this because Nintendo, they just make great games, and if they acquire a studio, that studio just continues to make great games for Nintendo. They will buy these companies. So I will say EA, I will say Xbox, I will say PlayStation. They will buy these companies who specialize doing these amazing things. They will tell them, all right, now you have to do something completely out of your wheelhouse, and if it fails, we're going to close you down.
Yeah. They'll give them the ultimate
yes
of like, hey, go learn to fly.
Yes.
No airplanes, no cars, no motors. You have to be able to fly by the end of the month. And it's like, well, I can't do that.
And the first one that really stood out to everyone is when Xbox got Rare and then had them make Kinect games.
Yeah.
And then when that didn't succeed, everyone's like, oh, well, Rare's just shot. It's like, no, they fucking... But Bluepoint Studios, they are responsible for some of the best remakes on PlayStation. Like, they did all of the God of War collections. They did the Ratchet and Clank collections, all these on the PS3. They did the Shadow of the Colossus up. Like, all these remakes. They did all these great things. And then Sony put them in charge of doing one of those stupid, kind of like a Fortnite game. What are they called? Those pay-to-play. And they did that with another studio with that stupid Concord game. And then when that failed, after one day, they closed the studio. Well, Bluepoint, they had him in charge of this game. Nothing was good. And then they just fucking close it. And it's like, dude, you're getting these great artists, and you're not giving them the shit that they fucking are good at. You're making them do this other crap. And nothing turns out well. And then they close the studios, and they're firing 70 people, I think it was, from this fucking studio.
Well, and it's only going to get worse as AI gets bigger. I'm sure that's one of the reasons that they put somebody with AI background in charge of Xbox, is because they're going to try and move to a platformer of like... AI makes all of our games, and then someone just kind of doubles checks and makes sure that everything is working, but we only have like 5 people that work on any given game because AI takes care of all the rest of it. Like, this year is going to be companies try and figure out how many employees they can fire and replace with AI.
Yep.
That's what this year is going to be all about.
Oh, absolutely. And I want PlayStation and, well, once again, who knows if Microsoft is even, but I want these game companies to look at what Nintendo has done. They've stuck with their guns. They put out a game, Animal Crossing. Didn't cost a lot to make. It sold 35, 40 million copies. Mm-hmm. All of their games they put out that are just classic good video games are selling tens of millions of copies and making them hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. And now the Pocopia coming out.
Yeah.
After its initial release trailer, which kind of soured a lot of people, all the stuff that has come out, and I've been reading some updates and previews that are like, this game is going to be fucking insane.
I've heard it's going to be good. Can I just play as a Ditto and not a Ditto pretending to be a child? I would play the shit out of that game if I didn't have to look like a weird child.
But like, I heard they're integrating like Minecraft-like things where you can create a certain world with other people. But then there isn't like, oh, well, you have to be on Johnny's server. Switch to server. No, anyone can go in at any time and just fuck with the island, do whatever they want. They can all meet together and do it. And it's like, that's really genius.
Yeah.
But that game, knowing that it comes from where it comes from, if it didn't cost a lot to make, I bet they probably made it for $20-30 million. Well,
that's the
thing. It's going to make billions.
Is that Nintendo, like, I agree with you. The problem with Nintendo is that they don't know what to do once they've had success. That's been the real problem with Nintendo. Because, like, going back to Animal Crossing, they just did an update after 2 years ago saying that they would never do another update for this game. And then, out of nowhere, a new Animal Crossing update comes out. Yeah. And what do you know? People snap it up and are really excited about it. But even Nintendo didn't have everything that they would usually have for it, didn't like have a special direct, didn't talk about it, didn't release, anything about it, didn't make a big stink about it. And then it just kind of showed up one day, released early. It was like, oh, whatever. Like, even when they have these huge successes, don't necessarily always know what to do with it. I love Tears of the Kingdom as far as like what the perspective is on it, what they were trying to do. There are so many elements of Tears of the Kingdom where I just look at it, I'm just like, but why would you do it this way? Specifically around the narrative, the storytelling, the world building in connection to Breath of the Wild. It almost feels like a game where Breath of the Wild may or may not be canonically connected to it. Maybe not. Maybe not. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that approach. Mario Kart World Tour. Why stray so far away from what works? Why get rid of product instead and create new product that nobody asked for and nobody wanted? I don't know anybody who was like, I love Mario Kart, but I want to ride as one of the dolphins.
But I think the Mario Kart problem is the problem they're going to have with Smash Brothers and games like that, where they made a perfect game. And I don't know a proper way that they could follow it up.
I'm just saying you can't take stuff out. You can change things, but you can't remove things. And that's the big problem with World Tour, in my opinion. I love a lot of elements of World Tour. I love a lot of ideas in World Tour. I don't know why you removed characters, cards,
it's so bare bone.
Customizational options. Yeah. Why do you have 9 million stickers, but you can only put one sticker on your cart? I don't understand these decisions, And so that's what I'm talking about. Is like, with Nintendo, they are great at finding success, but then they don't know what to do with it once they've hit it.
That is true.
So I find that
I'm hoping this new generation with them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's at the point now where, in a year, is Microsoft going to be...
Oh, Xbox isn't going to exist in a year.
No, it's going to be what Sega is.
Yeah.
Where, they're going to have these studios that make them money. They're going to make games. I as much as I loved a lot of their ideas, you just can't come back from what happened with the Xbox One.
No. By 2028, you're going to be able to play Halo on the Nintendo Switch too.
Oh, I bet it would be even sooner than that.
You're gonna see this bleed and sell off of.
Well, there's
Xbox
that new Halo game coming out that is going to be on PlayStation 5, and I wouldn't be shocked if it, with the remake of Halo 1, is going to be on PlayStation 5 on launch day, and I wouldn't be shocked if there is a port over to the Switch.
Yeah,
because the Switch can fucking handle it.
No, exactly. I mean, it's going to be everywhere but Xbox, because I really think the Xbox One doomed them in a weird way. Like, there were so many bad decisions around the launch of the Xbox One, around...
Oh, it was the worst launch.
All of the decisions around that tanked it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, trying to make literally money off of every single element of it, so that you would spend over $1,000 on the system, and then you would still owe money just to use it. Like, the peripherals cost money. Like, everything about the Xbox One was so poorly planned. And I'm not surprised that they're failing. I'm not surprised that a lot of these companies are failing. I think the thing that I'm frustrated by is that they have become trading chips for so many, other larger fish. So, like, the one I always think of is EA. EA is ostensibly dead.
Oh. Worst company.
And I would normally say, great. But who came through and bought up all of EA's contracts except the Saudis?
Yep.
And you're just like, God fucking damn it. God damn it. Can't we have anything in this world that isn't tainted or ruined by somebody else's greed? No. Can we just have one thing in this life where some awful person doesn't come along and ruin it for their own self-satisfaction?
No, that's how the world runs now, man.
Yeah.
So everything is greed. But yeah, so that was my only take. I just wanted to touch on some video game stuff, and that is a massive... Yeah. I mean, Phil Spencer leaving is
massive. hearing that, and that his second, especially that his second was also leaving, that does tell me, like, Xbox is dead and in the ground.
Well, and somebody had said, when the presser comes out, it shows that she just decided to leave the company. But there was I think it was a LinkedIn. It was one of those sites talking where they're trying to hire people. She had put out something recently saying how, they're passionate about video. It's like, I don't think she wanted to leave. I think it was one of those things saying, hey, you need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, your time's
like,
done.
your boy's gone, now you gotta go.
Your time's done, we're moving on.
Yeah.
Especially, like, it smacks so heavily of Xbox being like, oh, well, we'll have her, and she'll take over once Phil's gone. And then she came in with ideas on what she was going to do, and Xbox said, that sounds expensive.
Yeah.
That sounds like we're going to be on the cut for a lot of that, and we don't want to do that. We would rather have someone else do it. And then this other person comes in and says, I can do all that, but with AI, and actually cut costs.
Yep.
And so they're like, oh, well, we don't need you anymore. We have AI, and AI is going to fix all of our problems by still producing quality programming at half the cost and a third of the workforce.
Such a nightmare.
It's not going to happen because, as anybody who has spent any amount of time on AI knows, it's garbage, awful nonsense.
Yep.
There's a reason we call it slop. It's because it's actually terrible at what it does and is always bad. And people who use it because they are not talented enough to do other things.
Yeah.
And it's really a
trash.
shame. It's
a
bad.
trash pile.
It's bad. Yeah.
Okay, so I do. So we have another. It's just been a sadness all around the last few weeks.
The rule
with
of
people.
threes continues.
I do want to do a quick shout out. This actor I was never a fan of because I stopped watching. I think I watched Grey's Anatomy for the first year, but Eric Dane, who was one of the leads,
he died very suddenly
at ALS, and his. I don't know if you ever get a chance. There's a video he recorded for his daughters. Oh my god, just talking about what he wants them to do with their lives. It is. Oh, it's heartbreaking. So that was sad. But 95 years old, Robert Duvall, Bobby D, just talked about him last week with Open Range, which I did not, didn't know he was. I mean, he's 95, so it's always in a situation where it can happen at any time. But I after he died, I really kind of reflected, and I do the same with a lot of actors when they pass. I reflect on their careers, and I look at their filmography. And I'm like, damn, I really think he was one of my favorite actors. Mm-hmm. Looking at his movies and what he's done, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nothing but gold.
Yeah.
Going back to his first screen role in To Kill a Mockingbird.
I was going to say,
Boo Radley.
Like, that to me will, as small a role as it is, I love that moment.
Yeah.
With him as Boo Radley.
Oh.
And it really set the tone for his career moving forward. Because I think he has like maybe 3 lines in the entire thing.
I think so.
But Boo Radley isn't supposed to talk. He's supposed to be all stature, no speech. And Robert Duvall pulls that off so well. I mean, like, the thing for me with Robert Duvall is even in dumb movies, he brings a level of gravity that can help a movie or at least give it better footing. So I'm specifically thinking of Deep Impact.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, here's the thing. I like Deep Impact, right, as a popcorn movie. But I will definitely remember the first time watching it because I knew Elijah Wood's in this and I knew Morgan Freeman's in this. When Robert Duvall shows up as the old astronaut who is inserted onto this mission because they don't trust all the young astronauts. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? And, him being there is definitely an obstacle. Yeah. But at the same time, he's not the reason for it, right? No. He brings a great passion and style to all of that. The problem is the writing around it. And it shows you that an actor who's really good can take trash and still do really great work with it. I remember those scenes and the moments that I remember being annoyed by the younger astronauts and the kind of idea of like, oh, this only works because the old man is here and all these young people are actually terrible at what they do and it's only because this old man is
so
here.
Arrogant.
Yeah. And so like that plot line, I was like, this is stupid. The entire world's at risk and we're going to be doing this whole bicker fest about who gets to push the button at the end of Armageddon. Like, what are we doing? But that wasn't because of Robert Duvall. Like, his performance in that helps to anchor those moments. Yeah. And it's the things that happen around it that don't work.
Exactly. But, like, I went back and looked at his filmography. I forgot he was in Shane.
Oh, my God. I never put together that
he was Ned
Shane.
Pepper in True Grit. So he was the...
Really?
Yep. And I forgot about that. But then you go into, he was Frank Burns in MASH, the MASH movie. For those of you who have only seen the TV show, the MASH movie is spectacular. It is a great movie. And then you get into, The Godfather, Godfather Part 2, of course. And then a movie jumped out to me that I've not seen in a while, so I rewatched it. I haven't seen Network in forever.
So here's the thing. I've been meaning to watch Network in full because Network was one of those movies that I would have seen in Goldfarb's class.
Yes.
But I was doing a show. And so I would have to leave halfway through some of the movies to go to practice. And Goldfarb hated that.
Yep.
One of our old professors at MCC.
Goldie.
But that was one of the movies I had to walk out of.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to come back to it ever since. But the state of the world is such that I can't do it because it's so prescient about literally everything.
Yep.
That I'm like, I can't. I have to live Network every day. At this point, it's like watching Idiocracy. I don't know if I can watch it.
I know, it's so
because
tough.
It's just like I've had to live it every day.
He plays a character, Frank Hackett, who is head of the news division. He is such a scumbag. He is so fucking good. Like, every other performance in this movie is spectacular. Yeah. Like, it is a great fucking movie. Everyone goes to the I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore part. That's like a side story in it that's kind of a humorous, sad kind of part of the movie. But just watching Duvall, and he is such an effortless actor when it came to all this stuff. And watching him in that movie, and I am actually releasing a 4K Criterion collection. I'm getting it, and if it comes with a digital copy, I'll, of course, let you know so you can watch it. So I rewatched that, and then I'm going through his filmography again. Apocalypse Now.
That was the one I was going to bring up, because especially with
11
that
minutes
idea
he's on scene.
Of being a monster that you kind of root for. That's him in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
He does horrendous things in Apocalypse Now. He does all the things that we are most ashamed over from the Vietnam War. And you're kind of like, yeah, dude, surf's up. Surf Vietnam. Let's go. Like, because he's so infectious.
Yeah.
And he so thoroughly believes that, they are God stomping across this planet, reshaping it in their own image. And it's just like, okay, dude, like you want to hate him, but at the same time, you kind of understand the magnetism that he has. And the control that he has over all these people.
Presence, like when he's standing there holding the gun and they're getting bombed and he's just, like, it doesn't even faze him. Like, he's just in another world. It's just so fucking good. And like I said, 11 minutes. He's on screen for 11 minutes, and I think it's like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
He's on for 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's the most memorable. Well, I do love Brando in that movie. He's fucking spectacular.
Yeah. But Brando, the line that Brando has in that movie that everybody quotes, there is one. I don't remember it. I remember I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, Brando really, the line that sticks out, I think, for most people is when he says the horror.
The horror.
Yeah.
The horror.
Like, he's so good in that movie. But then, right after Apocalypse Now, he follows it with The Great Santini. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Great movie. He plays a Marine Corps pilot, and it's just about him being this hard father at home, and, like, the kids revolting against him, and it's an amazing drama, and he's so fucking good in it. And then you go to Tender Mercies, which he won his Oscar for. Great movie. Like, if I have to put, and I'm not even going to put the Bradley Cooper one, if I have to put the Chris Christopherson Stars Born with Barbra Streisand, I would take Tender Mercies, which they're both music movies, kind of have a similar feel to it a little bit, the older ones. Tender Mercies, great. He's in The Natural, and I'm just saying some of the standouts. He was in Colors, which is a very underrated movie where he plays a cop with Sean Penn. Great fucking movie. His performance is great. Then Lonesome Dove, which if you're a Western fan, the made-for-TV movie, him and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Him and Tommy Lee Jones. Now, it's a lot of different stories. The story mainly with the two of them was so fucking good. And, like, when you think about Westerns and you think about performances and you watch that with, once again, you could not watch anything else of that show with him not in it. The parts with him in it, just absolutely spectacular. And jump in at any time. I'm just going to go through some of these. Days of Thunder. Love Days of Thunder. A lot of it. I love him as Tom Cruise's pitmaster. Just fucking great. Falling Down.
I've been meaning to watch Falling Down. I haven't watched it yet.
Dude.
I've been meaning to watch it for years.
Falling Down, not only is it a great movie.
Because that's the one with Michael Douglas, right?
Michael Douglas. And Robert Duvall plays the cop who's trying to find him. And, of course, it's his last day, and he's leaving the force, but he's leaving the force for the wrong reasons. But he just has that... Like, he can do these movies where you're like, I love this guy. Like, he's so lovable.
Yeah.
And he's so... Because he's so good at just playing a normal person.
Well, and, like, that was one of the things... Because I watched Open Range last night in preparation for...
Oh, nice.
Show.
Yeah, we're going to get...
We'll get into it more, but that was a lot of his character in that movie.
Yeah.
Was just this guy who, when you first meet him, he seems so gruff and aggravated and unlovable. And then the more you hang out with him, you're like, oh, you're just a teddy bear.
Yeah, just a sweet guy. And then you hear the sadness about his past,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about that. You know, you get into some more of the modern ones. Phenomenon, didn't love the movie, but he was great in it. This one really jumped out at me. When Titanic was up for the Oscar, I had seen Titanic. And I'm sorry for those of you who love it. A, the special effects don't hold up very well like they used to. B, it is a melodramatic pile of dog shit.
The iceberg shows up for like 10 minutes at the end of the movie.
But like all of the acting in it is like cringe, blow my brains. I remember watching it going, this is the worst fucking... Like the main villain, the Billy Zane character.
I was about to say, you don't like Billy Zane?
It's like if he had a mustache and was curling it throughout the movie...
He just steals children and tries to jump off the boat. But
so
you don't
bad.
like Billy Zane?
The same year that movie was up for the Oscar, I saw The Apostle with Robert Duvall.
Is that the... Which one is that?
It's where he's the preacher and he... So, spoiler, it's 97. In the beginning, he's married to Farrah Fawcett and she cheats on him. And he's this big, like, tent revival preacher and he kills her lover in front of everybody with a baseball bat. So he has to flee. So he flees down to the south and they use... actual people, not actors, in this movie with him. But Billy Bob Thornton's in it too. But he like baptizes himself in like the Tennessee River, and he becomes this preacher for everyone down there. Mm-hmm. And it's, Al, I can't, like, you know me, anything religion typically I despise.
Yeah.
This movie is fucking amazing. And he is so fucking good. I believe he wrote and directed this too. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I know he directed it. I can't remember if he wrote it or not. Yeah, he wrote and directed this movie. Dude, it's a spectacular movie. And so when fucking Titanic won, and I'm like, that's it? The Oscars don't mean shit? Because they obviously don't care about acting.
Yeah.
It's a spectacle. And they, for the one time in their whole fucking lives, they gave the award to spectacle instead of quality.
Well, like, that's the thing, is that going off on a little bit of an Oscars rant, especially with the nominations that have come out this year, there's a lot of people that are like, for that? Really?
Yeah.
And the reaction is always the same. It's always been the same since I was a kid. Well, it's not really for that. It's for this other thing, but then they didn't win, and everybody agrees that they should have won. Yeah. This is a Leo DiCaprio thing over and over again. He gets nominated for something, he doesn't win. 5 years later, everybody agrees he should have won. And so 10 years later, he wins for The Revenant, which isn't even close to one of his best performances. Yeah. But hey, we needed to get him one. This was his chance. This was his one shot. He took it.
That was always the Scorsese Departed.
That was the next one I was going to say. Was like, there's so many people, a lot of people who say The Departed isn't a good movie. I think The Departed is a good movie, but my problem with it is the same as, ironically, my problem with The Joker, which is to say that it's a good movie, but the original is much better. Yeah. Infernal Affairs is a really good Chinese movie. And if you haven't seen it, it's really good. And it's essentially just The Departed. And it's like almost shot for shot The Departed. And so it's like, does Scorsese deserve to win for The Departed? I mean, yes, but he really deserves to win for Goodfellas, Mean Streets, Gangs of New York, all these other movies. Although Gangs of New York, I was kind of Gangs of New York for me hung around half an hour too long. That movie needed to be trimmed back a little bit. It just hung around a little too long for my taste. But, like, again, there's so many other movies, Taxi Driver, so many other movies that should have won for Scorsese that didn't. And so they give it to him for Departed because that's when the tide opens and you have this chance to walk through. And, you know, I kind of look at this year and I see a lot of the same stuff of just like, well, Coogler probably should win for Sinners, but I have a feeling that Paul Thomas Anderson is somehow going to win for the Leo movie this year, one way or another, whatever it's fucking called. Which I can't watch because, like, the whole thing just makes me the entire reality of the situation.
It's like the movie
is enough.
Civil War. I can't
do it. I already have to live this every day.
Yeah.
I have to dread this every day. I can't watch a dramatized version of actual real life.
Yeah.
I can just look at the bad news that I see all the time every day, and I'll be able to do that just fine. Thank you. And so, like, you know, and even Paul Thomas Anderson, you can make the same arguments. Like, oh, you know, Boogie Nights or The Master, all these other movies that he should have won for, but didn't. Oh, so now he's going to win for this and keep Coogler and Del Toro. Del Toro's not even on the block. Coogler's...
Which, it still blows my mind.
Like, there's just so many things that blow my mind. Why is Chloe Zhao nominated again? I'm not saying Hamnet's not a good movie.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that she already won for Nomadland, which was a movie nobody really cared about. And then this is again very personal, I'll admit, but she came in and was supposed to save Marvel with the Eternals. Oh, this was going to give Marvel the moment of class that they needed. Finally, they were going to have this big artistic female director that was going to save everything, and it was a trash fire. And I'm not saying that's entirely her fault, but she was more than willing to put her name to that and say that she was the director of that fiasco, so I have to put the blame somewhere. And now she's Hamnet? For Hamnet? Okay, I guess. But, like, again, I said this when we reviewed the Oscar nominations. I just feel like, and this is a feel-like statement, but I feel like the directorial weight of Hamnet is not nearly as great as the directorial weight of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I look at the work that both of those movies would take on a directorial level, and I say, well, this one has all of these elements, and this one is a period piece. I kind of feel like this one's more impressive than this one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hamnet. It smacks so heavily of Shakespeare in Love. Like, again, it's just like these movies.
And that's the thing, is they need to understand the difference between spectacle and a great movie with spectacle.
Yeah.
Like, a great movie with spectacle are the ones that should win.
Return of the King, a great movie with spectacle.
Yes.
You know, so you can do it.
Yes.
So you do make food, to quote Brendan Lee Mulligan. So we do make food. We can do this. We just actively seem to choose not to prioritize it because we want to be popular with certain people in the industry. And the fastest, easiest way to do that is to nominate Matt Damon for The Martian in a comedy role.
Which is nuts.
Again, I know that's the Golden Globes, but it's the same premise. It's the same premise. And while the Oscars have greater cachet, the premise and policies are essentially the same. You're trying to get popular with certain people, and so you nominate them for things, and you say, we'll give you a nomination. We'll give you a win for this movie that isn't even your best movie, but because of the circumstances, you can now get an Oscar too.
Yep.
That's why we get excited when, like, Brie Larson or Alicia Vikander win, and you're like, this came out of nowhere. I don't even know where this came from, but I'm really excited that it happened, because who could have ever predicted that? Or Jamie Lee Curtis winning for Everything Everywhere. Like, great, do more stuff like that.
Yeah. Having
Everything Everywhere win everything that year. You want to talk about both spectacle and style.
There you go.
That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
And it's not that you don't have movies this year that have spectacle and style. It's that you've weirdly decided not to elevate them.
Yep.
That's the part that we're confused by.
And it should be a 2-film race between Frankenstein and Sinners.
Yeah.
Because those are the two movies that, once again, like you said, Hamlet might be great, but it is going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not going to have that other thing that people want.
The spectacle is going to be the romance between the two lead characters and the son dying and all these... Sorry to spoil Hamnet.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just that their kid dies, and now you have to watch William Shakespeare go through the death of his son and then write Hamlet at the very end of it. And it's just like, okay, cool,
it doesn't
but like...
scream a movie that...
I just, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that this is very good for a specific group. You know what I really like about Three Billboards? Is that it is a very similar story of tragedy, but it has a ton of really complicated, different characters, all of whom are tough to root for. The most likable character is the police chief that won't do anything.
Yeah.
He's the most likable character of everyone in that. And maybe Lucas Haas, who is the brother who is just trying to get through high school. He doesn't want to deal with all this. He doesn't want to deal with his mom's mental breakdown. He doesn't want to deal with this racist cop. He doesn't want to deal with this small town. He doesn't want to deal with Peter Dinklage. He just wants to get through high school. And those moments, I love that movie for that. Like, it's tough. there's a lot of people you don't like. There's not a lot of really good people. Even the victim isn't a good person. Not to say that she deserved what happened to her, but just to say that as the story goes on, you learn more and more about her too. So, like, again, you do have one big explosion in fire in that movie. But by and large, that movie is about the pacing and the characters and the mystery at the center of it and these people in this town and this community. And when I see Hamnet and I look at the trailer for Three Billboards, I don't, even though you could argue that these are kind of in the same vein of, like, you know, a tragedy, Oscar bait kind of film, one of these looks way more interesting to me than the other one. And I wanted to memorize Hamlet when I was in high school, and I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Like, I love Hamlet. Hamlet is one of my favorite pieces of all time. It was a seminal piece for me in high school. I look at this and I'm like, I want to care about it, but between one thing and another, I'm having a hard time saying yes and to this.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
I see what you're saying on that. All right, so now we need to get back to Bobby Duvall.
Bobby D, we got to talk about a cowboy and a cowboy.
We got to talk about Open Range. So it's a 2003 movie directed by Kevin Costner.
Which is why, now that I know that, because you told me that, but I had forgotten it. But knowing that and hearing it, that's why he becomes the central character halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I mean, but what I love is he is the central character, but he's also not the most revered character.
No.
Which is what I love, is he allows Boss Spearman, Blue Bonnet Spearman, to be the most revered character.
When that moment happened, Kelly just looked at me and she's like, that so sucks. Your name is Blue Bonnet? That sucks.
But I love how he says, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. The look on Costner's face is the best because he doesn't know how to react to it. He's like, okay.
He's like, well, my favorite is when he's like, okay, so this is my full name, and I want to know your full name. And the boss is like, and he's like, come on, tell me your name. And he's like, and he's like, tell me your name. He's like, Blue Bonnet. And Kevin Costner almost looks like, you're fucking with me.
Yeah, there's no
what are you talking about? I asked you what your name is. My name is Blue Bonnet. I don't know what to tell you.
I love it. So this movie, and what I love the most about this movie, well, I kind of gushed on it. So let me hear your take on it, because I gushed on it.
I like this movie. I see, going back to our last conversation about pacing, I really see what you were talking about when it comes to the Western pace.
Yes.
And in comparison to how movies are paced now. Modern pacing.
Yeah.
The pacing on this is so slow.
Yeah.
I think the best way I can categorize it is after all of the action happens and we have a resolution on everything, there's still like 10 minutes left in the movie because we have to resolve Costner and Annette Bening's relationship. And it's not done quickly. Like, there's so many movies where she goes to him after everything that happened and he's like, I'm a monster. And she's like, no, we can work it out. You're fine. You don't have to feel bad about killing these people. And he's like, no, I'm a monster. She's like, no, I love you. And then they kiss, and that's the end of the movie. No. This movie ends with her going to him and him being like, I'm a monster. And her being like, no, but you can stay here. And him being like, I need some time. And so we see him take time, an undisclosed amount of time, and then he comes back and he's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too.
Yeah.
And then we still see them go off on a cattle run. Like, it takes time. It's like 10 minutes, whereas it could have been like 2 minutes. It's like 10 minutes of them going back and forth.
But that is the classic pacing.
Exactly.
They want to resolve every one of these character stories.
And not in a rush.
No.
Even when Michael Gambon dies.
Yeah.
And Boss walks up to him and is like, I could kill you right now, but you're going to die in 10 minutes anyway.
Yeah, I'd rather you bleed out.
So I guess I'm just going to let this happen. And it's just like,
awesome.
That's the entire movie. It's just like, I could do something about this right now, or I could just let it resolve itself. So I guess I'm going to let it resolve itself instead.
Oh, I gotta say, do you see what I mean about the visuals though?
Yeah.
Like the scenery is gorgeous. I think
really
they
great.
filmed it in Canada.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And then the child Diego Luna.
I was gonna say the baby Diego Luna. I love, like, at the beginning, I almost feel like Diego Luna was too old for this role at times because, like, he's supposed to be this child who is right at the end of childhood.
He was supposed to be 16.
He's supposed to be 16. But the way that he acts is so childish, and he doesn't realize how childish he's being, which is the point, right?
Yeah.
So you have this whole thing at the beginning when we meet all four of the men, where he's blatantly cheating at cards, And it's not even the guy that he's looking at the cards of who cares. It's Kevin Costner who gets really, 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 really upset about this. And like kicks him into a stream off his horse, mad about it. Like 2 days later, like still mad about it. And I just like, there were just moments where I was watching it and I it works as I think about it, because like in one way Diego Luna is a child and doesn't realize what he's doing. But in another way, he's also, by frontier standards, a full-grown man and needs to be a man.
And he's part of this group. And Costner's like, if you're going to be part of this
if you're going to
group,
be here, you need to be a man. I can't babysit you and raise you and teach you everything. You need to be a man on your own.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I really loved about Robert Duvall in this, was that he has this weird, gruff, paternal affection for all four of these men.
Yep.
Where, like, with Diego Luna, he is the youngest, both in terms of like as a son, but also as a partner. And so there's a lot of him shouting.
And he really is an adoptive child of Duvall.
Yeah. And like, we don't know where he comes from.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about
They just
Button.
said they found him on the streets.
Yeah.
And...
They're asked, is his name Button? They're like, that's the only name he's ever given us.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what his real name is. But that scene at the beginning where Robert Duvall is explaining, like, this is what you fucked up with. This is why he's mad at you.
Yep.
But then also when Diego Luna is given a job he doesn't want, and he starts cursing in Spanish. And Boss is just like, in English, like, stop speaking Spanish so I can understand what you're saying. And like, there's just like this conflict, this push and pull between the two of them. But there's clearly a lot of love from Boss to Button. He cares so much about this kid, but he also just wants this kid to listen to him.
Yeah.
Like, for the love of God, just stay with the wagon. When he comes back from finding Mose and Button's gone, he's like, I can't fucking deal with this right now. Why aren't you here?
Yeah.
And Button comes up. He's like, I was just hanging out with the cows. He's like, but I told you to stay here. And you didn't stay here. And now I was upset about it.
Yeah.
And I'm still upset about it because you didn't do it. And you don't understand why I'm upset about it, which makes me even more upset. So he's like, there's this very paternal feeling of like, I raised you to be smarter than this. And also, why don't you listen to me? And so but then like, you also get that with Mose, where he cares a lot about Mose, and he goes on this vengeance run because of Mose. Yeah. Because this one guy is taken out of his little 4-man group, and he's like, well, then I'm going to kill all y'all motherfuckers over this. And especially, like, you see it so, even with Charlie, where they're partners. Yeah. It really does feel like a father with an adult son.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's still trying to push his adult son in certain directions very softly. So, like, when they leave the house, when they leave the doctor's house after getting Mose, and like, Mose is all beaten up and concussed and in a very bad way, and Robert Duvall just turns to Charlie and is just like, pretty lady. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty lady.
Yeah.
You want to go talk to the pretty lady?
and that they still thought she was married to him and not his sister.
Yeah. And it's just like, at first I was like, oh, don't be a weird, creepy old man. But as I watched the movie, I was like, oh, you're trying to get your partner to go back and talk to the lady. You don't care about the lady. The lady wasn't for you. The partner. This was all about finding a woman for Charlie to go and settle down with, because that's his whole thing. Is like, I don't want any of you to be in this life anymore. Yeah. I was in this life. I brought you into this life. And after all this time and everything that's happened, I've realized none of us should be doing this. Yeah. All of us should be in town being blacksmiths. This is a bad idea. We should stop doing it. Yeah. And I do like this movie.
I love I love when, because and this is what I appreciate what Costner did in this is, yes, his character is the guy that's done bad things in his life and he's trying to be redeemed. Where he put Duvall on that pedestal, like even some of the shots of just Duvall sitting on the horse and Mose saying, oh, he can cowboy. He's like, yeah, he's the best I've seen. And, they're just talking in this reverence for Duvall. And he did take Robert Duvall and he said, you are going to be the godlike character in this movie. I am going to do the like action scenes and I'll have the woman at the end. But you're the one that everyone reveres, and I love that. Especially when Charlie's talking about his backstory. Yeah. Well, first off, you get Boss talking about how his wife and daughter died of typhoid, and that you can kind of understand his feeling towards Buttons. But then with Charlie, where he's like, he just goes on his story about how he was pretty much an assassin in the war, and he did all these horrible things and killed like pretty much everybody.
And we don't know for which side.
No.
we don't know which side of the war it was on. Usually with cowboys, the war is the Civil War. Typically when cowboys are talking about the war, it's the Civil War. And I can't pin Costner's accent in this enough for me to be like, oh, he was on this side of the line.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't know. He might have been a really bad guy. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree. Like, Robert Duvall in this reminds me of like a Jimmy Stewart in some of his older cowboy movies. Not necessarily Liberty Valance, where he's more of a good guy, like a type A good guy. But like, I can't remember all of them, but there are a lot of them, especially with cattle and with ranchers, where Jimmy Stewart, of all people, plays the heavy.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he sees injustice being done in this town, or something happens to him, or he's put upon by someone. He's like, all right, I guess I got to kill y'all then. And like that was kind of the feel of this movie, was just like, boss goes into town, gets his man, takes a look around, sees how everything is going, talks to Michael Gambon once and says, I'm going to have to kill all these people. Yeah. That's how this ends, is with me killing all these people. And whoo boy.
And he had the line when leading up to the gunfight, when they go into the shop and he buys the chocolate and he takes a bite. And then he gives them to the shop owner, and he says, "You ever tried these? Because we can't afford it." And he just says to him, "It's been sitting in front of you all this time, and you to never take a taste. That's a shame." Yeah. Like that right there is like,
I love that moment because we don't usually get moments like that in cowboy movies, right?
Yes.
Like the Magnificent Seven don't go around town relishing in life because they know they're gonna die.
They're gonna die.
They're too busy getting ready to die. And here they're like, okay, I know that Michael Gambon is coming back today. I know that he's going to be here in an hour. I'm going to go get cigars. I'm going to hang out with Michael Jeter. I'm going to eat some chocolate. I'm going to tell my best friend my real God-given name. And then I'm going to go die.
Which I believe this was Michael Jeter's final role before he died.
Oh, he was so good.
He's so great.
He's so good in this movie.
Yeah.
I love the moment where he comes hobbling out and they're like, what happened to you? He's like, I fell.
Yeah, they thought he got shot.
I
He's like,
fell.
I fell and twisted my knee.
I got too excited and I fell.
I know you were going to bring it up. The shootout.
Yes.
My favorite part of the shootout is spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
My favorite part of the shootout, though, is they get you all primed for Costner against Kim Coates' character, who is Butler.
Yeah.
And they make Butler, he's the hired gun on the bad guy side.
We've been hearing about him all
Yes.
movie, where they're like, oh, Mose broke the arm of this cattle guy's main guy, Butler, and like, oh, he's a big problem. You better watch out for Butler. Bam!
Shoots him right in the fucking head.
Are you the one that fought my friend? Yeah, I'm the one that fought your friend. Bam!
Yep.
Dead. Okay, moving on. What's next?
So great. So great.
I also love that it is set up as like, okay, Boss and Charlie are gonna, 2 versus 8. This is gonna be that's why they're so sure they're gonna die. It's 2 versus 8. There's no way that they live. And then Charlie is like, you killed my friend, bam. And then there's like this quick shootout, a lot of gun smoke. Boss gets shot and is on the sidelines for the vast majority of the fight. Really, most of this fight is Charlie going around town just being a machine and killing everybody. And with a few Home Alone style traps thrown in there of like, oh, you thought you shot me? That was just a big bag of flour. And now here I am shooting you in the head.
It was awesome.
I also loved that, and I know that it was a little overdone for drama purposes, but one of the things that I always laugh at, especially in older Westerns, there's 2 things. One, the sound that bullets make when they're shot. I love and also find it deeply funny. The one that I always go to is The Magnificent Seven, which, by the way, is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. The sound of ricocheting bullets is so funny because it's fucking everywhere in The Magnificent Seven. It's like every gunshot sounds like it pinged off of like 9 rocks. Like it's everywhere every time. But then also people dying. When people get shot, they go, ooh, ah. Oh, and then they slowly sink down, or they go, oh, and they just like toss their shoulder backwards, like, oh, and then they fall over. When people get shot in open range, they go flying like 10, 15 feet. Yeah. And sometimes it's not necessarily, it doesn't make sense, But sometimes it does. When that guy gets shot by the scattergun
through the wall
and flies 15 feet across the street, you're like, I think that actually would have thrown him like 15 feet.
I fucking love that.
Like there's, and especially when Charlie is killing people, when he kills people and they just get shot out from under their hats.
Yeah.
And like their hats just hang in the air like a cartoon and fall. It's like, this is great. This is kind of what you go to a Western for, is like this kind of moment. And it's over the top, but at the same time, it gives so much more force to every bullet fired.
And then when it comes to taking out the final baddie, he gave it to Duvall. He allowed him, because Charlie gets shot and he's extra hobbled where Duvall can still move around a little bit.
He has the hero wound of he's just shot in the side somewhere. All he has to do is like put a handkerchief on it and hold it in place, and he can do anything he still needs to do.
Yeah. And then he just dives through the door, and they have that nice little face-to-face. And because Gambone's character is so shot up that he can't really focus, and they just fire at each other, and Spearman just loads them up.
I love that when it's just clicking. Both of them clicking.
Yes.
I also love the moment when Michael Gambon is just on the floor, and he like has his tongue out of the kill me. Kill me. And it's just like, what is this face you're making right now, my dude?
It's fucking crazy.
I did hear there was a Hot Ones interview with Daniel Radcliffe this week.
Yeah.
Worth checking out. Very good interview.
Okay.
Dude is great. I'm glad of all the 3 Harry Potters, he's the one that made it.
Oh, he's awesome.
Because Daniel Radcliffe is by far the most talented of those 3 actors, by far the most driven, and by far the most imaginative of those 3 actors. He had some great stories about working with Michael Gambon.
Oh, really?
And specifically that Michael Gambon would fuck around until they called action. And I love hearing about this because it makes me really respect him that much more as an actor. And Michael Gambon in general has that kind of mystique.
Yeah.
Of like, you see him as Dumbledore, and you're like, well, he's not as good as Richard Harris is as Dumbledore, and he's very intense, and I've never gotten over, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Like, I've never gotten over
that was the dumbest thing.
Which, again, is directorial choices, not necessarily acting choices, but still, at the same time, I dislike it greatly. But then you see him in Layer Cake, and you see him in Open Range, and you see him in Doctor Who, and, like, all these other roles that are so different.
Sleepy Hollow.
And he has this, like, I don't even know how to phrase it. Like, Michael Gambon was just able to embody these roles, and if they were dark roles, there was a Maleficent to him.
Okay.
And if they were kind roles, it was a warmness. But it was like 2 ends of the knob, right? So it's like on one end it's cold, on one end it's hot. So like he can either be really warm and friendly, or that same kind of energy can become malevolent. And so like in Layer Cake or at the beginning of Doctor Who. In Doctor Who you see the knob fully turn from cold to hot. Where at the beginning he's so cruel and callous. And as, you know, it's that moment where he's watching and the Doctor leaves. And then it shows up in the movie that is projected on the wall. And Michael Gambon is just sitting there watching his younger self interact with the Doctor, and he says, but that didn't happen. But it did happen.
Yeah. That's still one of my favorite episodes.
It's one of the best turns, because that's the moment things start. That's when the ball starts really starting to spin. Yeah. And that's Michael Gambon. He can be so silly and ridiculous, and at the same time be so warm and frightening and powerful in everything that he does.
And it still threw me off when I saw it, because this came out the year before Prisoner of Azkaban. Mm-hmm. So when I saw him as Dumbledore, I was like,
what the fuck is this?
That's so
weird.
What
is this shit? I do like him in the 3rd Harry Potter movie. It's interesting. It goes good, bad, bad, good. He's good in 3, bad in 4, bad in 5, good in 6.
Yeah.
Like, he's not bad in 5. He does what he's supposed to do, which is to be extremely cold. Yeah. That's exactly what Dumbledore is supposed to do, and he holds that fight great. At the end of that movie, you know, you really need to be able to make that not look silly when you're fighting with wands, and he does a great job of holding that scene. But because he's also supposed to be cold, there's not a lot for him to do.
That's true.
And so you by proxy don't like Dumbledore, which again is the purpose of that version of Dumbledore. He has to be not liked because he's actively avoiding Harry throughout that entire story. And then 4 is just like bad acting, bad direction, bad everything. So many bad decisions made in that movie. So many decisions that I look back on, I'm like, at the time I was like, oh yeah, like a hardcore wizard metal band. That's kind of fun. Like an emo metal wizard band. That's kind of fun. And then I look back and I'm like, this is kind of cringy. This isn't great.
I have never had that movie in high regard because that was always my favorite book.
Yeah.
So that one I was the most critical of.
My son! My
And it's like, after rereading the books, and I know this is a big tangent off of Robert Duvall, after rereading the books, I'm like, it would have been so much better if during the not Triwizard tournament, the Quidditch World Cup in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Harry and the Weasleys sit with the Minister of Magic during the fucking thing. I'm like, why do you got to make this weird class system having them sitting because the minister wants to get in with Harry and that's why he's sitting with him? I'm like, I hate that. I hate the decisions they made.
A lot of the Triwizard stuff was bad. Watching Quidditch is one of the fun things of the movies.
Yeah.
And you got rid of it. You have professional Quidditch players playing the best Quidditch of all time.
If any movie they needed to do like a 2-movie thing, it was that one.
Yeah.
Because there was so much. All right, so getting back to Robert. So it is sad. I am happy that we were able to talk about Open Range because once again, it is one of my favorite Westerns.
I really liked it. I don't think it's one of my favorite Westerns because it was a little slow at times. There were a lot of moments where I was just like, okay, we can pick this up just a little bit. But at the same time, there are moments I love. I love when Costner has the night terror.
Yes!
I bought in so hard on that. I was like, oh my God, there's a guy in the room. Oh my God, there's a guy in the room. Holy shit, wake up. There's a guy in the room. And so that was great directing because, like, especially that moment where it's almost prismatic, where there's this overlay and you have Annette Bening and this weird guy in a mask, and then Robert Duvall comes in. And you're just like, what's going on? I thought that was so well done.
Yeah, no, it gave that little extra. I mean, it was an unnecessary amount of dread, but it was well placed at that time.
It was very good,
and it led to such a beautiful scene. That scene where, because he breaks her mother's tea set. So when they go in and Boss is buying the chocolate, he writes out an order for a new tea set and gives it to Michael Jeter. And when he's reading it, and in the Michael Jeter voice at that poignant moment when they're getting ready for this gunfight,
when I die, take my best saddle and all my best gun and sell them and buy this tea set. I think I like the princess cut, but it's up to you.
And when he, in the very last, he says postscript.
Yeah,
and it's
postscript.
I was like, that's fucking awesome. Oh my God.
I love Michael Jeter in that.
And it's those little parts of that movie. Because you're right. And I think the reason the pacing doesn't bother me is I grew up watching slower Westerns. And that's like, to me, that's the pacing.
Yeah.
But it's those little moments like that, like the Boss Spearman and buying the chocolate, the Michael Jeter and the note, even the final when Costner comes back and says, "I love you," and this is what I want, and that's such a sweet moment, and it's like that's his redemption.
And because it's paced out that way, it's earned. It's more earned than this rushed, like, oh, we just need to get to the denouement of the movie.
Yeah.
So we just need these two people to fall in love, and we don't really care about how it happens. We just need it to happen. And instead, they were like, no. We're going to let this happen naturally, even if that takes longer to do.
And I love that these are two people in their 40s.
In their 40s.
Who have lived hard lives, and it's like they could never find love.
Well, and like,
this is...
Annette Bening refers to that a few times, of like, I've tried love before.
Yeah. I'm not a girl anymore, Charlie Waite.
Yeah. When he comes up to her and says, "You're the most handsomest woman I've ever seen," I'm like, that is such a Western compliment. Yep. In no world would that be a compliment anywhere else but in Missouri in 1886.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, that's the only place where that would be a compliment. I'll finish on this. I love the scene where they track down the men that have been spying on them.
Yes.
And they hold all of them around the fire. And because like that to me is what I want supposed alpha males to be like, is to see a problem and protect the people that it affects.
Yeah.
And to be no business about this.
Yeah.
Like, if you try something, I'm going to shoot you right now. So you better not try anything.
And that interaction when Charlie pulls the gun and Boss is like telling him.
Exactly.
But Charlie's like, okay, I respect you, but this is the shit I know how to do.
I know how to do this. You kill all 4 of these men and you leave.
Yes.
That's how you deal with the situation. And Boss is like, no. If we do that, we're as bad as them.
Yeah.
And even by the end of the movie, when Charlie ends up winging one guy and nearly killing him, and then he's going to go and finish him off, and Boss is like, no, we don't do this. This is what divides us from the animals. We don't do this.
Yeah.
They are the animals. We are not. We don't do this. But I just love that moment where they're trying to get answers out of the guys, and the guy is like, I'm not telling you nothing.
And that felt like I felt that hit.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
So
who wants
done.
to tell me something? Because this guy decided not to tell me anything, and now he's concussed. So who wants next?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Kevin Costner is just breaking guns on the side of a tree.
Oh.
And it's just like,
Dude,
I love this
so
scene
good.
a lot. This scene is everything I want.
And what's sad is, and to finish it off, what's sad is it's not a very well-known movie.
Yeah.
You know, when it came out, it kind of got pushed under the radar. It didn't have a very long theatrical run. I saw it in the theater.
It came out at that time where Westerns were on a steep decline.
Yes.
And like these big, flashy, Matrix-style, over-the-top action movies were on a sharp incline.
Yep.
And so people were going to see these sci-fi, Tomb Raider, those kind of movies. They weren't going to go and see Robert Duvall and Kevin Costner in this.
It's such a shame. Such a great movie. But R.I.P. Robbie.
We didn't even talk about Tom Hagen. Tom Hagen is the only reason I like the Godfather series because he's the character I can connect to the most.
See, I would agree with. I love him in the movies. I love, to me, the main draw for the Godfather movies is watching Pacino's arc.
Yeah.
I'm not counting the third either, just the first two movies. Watching his arc in those movies and his just quiet, intense, and then he explodes kind of acting. But Hagen you're right, he's our connection into that because he's an outsider.
He's
not really a violent man.
He does violent things. He's been allowed to be part of the family.
Yes.
But he also serves a role, and while he's seen as a member of the family, there is still a soft but tacit disconnect between being part of the family and being in the family.
Yep.
And I just love, it's moments like him being like, okay, Corleone told me to go and get this movie producer in line, so I'm going to go and have this meeting. I'm going to have this meeting and it doesn't go well. And I'm not outwardly a violent man, and I don't seem like this is something I want to do, but my boss told me to make him an offer he can't refuse. So I'm going to take his most beloved thing in this world, the thing that he was so distracted from he could barely have a conversation with me, and I'm going to cut off its head and put it in his bed.
Yep.
And it's just like this level of like, listen, I'm not usually the kind of guy to do this, but boss tells me I gotta. So here's a horse head for you. I don't know what to tell you. And it's just like, there's something about that. There's something about being an outsider, but still being like, no, like I owe these people everything. I'm loyal to them, even if it's stuff that I'm not one for. This is their world, and I'm a part of that, so I have to play by their rules.
And that outsider mentality made that scene with him and Pacino, where Pacino hands the family to him, saying, listen, you need to be the one in charge of this right now because of everything that's going on, and calling him a brother, and watching that interaction where Hagen finally feels like, because Sonny always kind of had him on arm's distance, but he feels that sense of, I am part of this family.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because he loved The Godfather so much. I mean, he loved Corleone so much that it's like... Yeah, you're right. It was great. It was great. I mean, he's great. He's great.
It turns out, newsflash, Dateline.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall, great actor.
And one of our professors was his worked for his production company.
I forgot that. What's her name? Yeah,
I can't think of her name. But we did the film festival.
I want to say Marine or something. I can't remember.
But she was his. Yeah. So we heard all the stories about Robert Duvall, how great a human being he was. So that makes me even more happy.
Yeah.
Because of what a great person in real life he was.
Hey, listen, if your film career starts by acting opposite Gregory Peck,
that's pretty good.
And it goes to 2020,
it's pretty good.
That's a really good career, man.
Yeah.
So. Golf clap for Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall, you will be missed. I will continue watching your movies until I am planted somewhere. I promise you that.
And if anything, he is a much better cowboy role model than one John Wayne.
Oh, by far.
So we always have that to hang up on.
Yeah, quite a bit. All right, folks. So that was Nerdpod Generations episode 183. Really hope you appreciate and enjoyed everything we talked about. Next week, we will be getting into one of our throw-offs of this week was going to be the new Muppet revival, and we have a lot to talk about with that.
That's a weird... That straight out of Muppet Labs, folks.
This is going to be an Al Spider-Man Homecoming for Mr. Steve. Yeah. Just so you're aware of that. So be prepared. So we'll be talking about that next week. Please be sure to go to nerdpodgen.com. Once again, there is a place where you can send us an email. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know of any topics you want us to talk about. Nerdpodgen.com. And Al, who does our artwork and music?
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I am Steve Taylor.
And until next week, friends and enemies, we will be opposite these old people. I have it as Statler and Waldorf.
Yes.
So we'll see you next week,
yes.
friends and enemies.
Peace.